am in Kobe area, next to Osaka.
Okay, I went to Okinawa many years ago.
Oh, nice. We just got back from there like 3 weeks ago. We
Nice.
took a little beach vacation over there. It's beautiful, right?
It's awesome. I loved it.
What were you doing over there?
I used to travel the world with Pitbull, the artist. That's my brother. I grew up with him.
Oh,
I,
no way.
I used to be his bodyguard, and we went to Okinawa for a concert.
Oh,
For
man, that would have.
It was for the USO tour for the troops or for the
For the
military.
troops.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. What year was that? Around.
2006, 2007.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wasn't over here at that time, but
Are you
that would have been nice, man. What's that?
are you in the military?
No, no. I got married, and she's Japanese, and then we were living in LA, and so we were having a baby and everything. After we got married, she got pregnant, and we decided to come to Japan for like a year just so she could feel more comfortable with the doctors and everything. Because back in the States, man, you have a baby, the next day you're going home, right?
Yeah.
Here in Japan, the way they do it is she stays in the clinic for at least about a week.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I just wanted her to feel more comfortable with all that, and it's nice over here, man. The way they do that for you.
Absolutely. And congratulations on the baby, man. That's awesome.
Appreciate it, appreciate it. Well, then we had that baby, and then things went sideways, and then we ended up getting a divorce. But I got full custody of my son, which in Japan, man, that never happens for a foreigner.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
amazing.
and then but I got married again and had another baby, so that's the congratulations on that one there. How about you, man? You got some kids too, right?
Excuse me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. It's 8 o'clock was my eating time.
Hey,
Last meal.
no worries, man. No worries.
I have four kids. So I have a 23-year-old son.
Okay.
I have a 19-year-old daughter. I have an 8-year-old boy, and I have a nephew that's 8 years old, which is my sister's son that I have custody of also.
Man, that's amazing. That's amazing to what a lucky kid to have an uncle like that that's willing to step up.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
man, if we had more people, it's sad that there's a lot of, actual parents that aren't willing to step up. So when there's a family member that's willing to come in and say, "Hey, I'll take care of him for you," that's amazing. Lucky
Yeah.
kid, man.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, and he's 8, your nephew?
He's
So
8.
same age as your boy.
Yeah, my boy. So my nephew's born August of 2012, and my boy's born March of 2013. So they're like 6 months apart. They
Yeah.
look like twins, brother. They're the same DNA. So it's awesome. Yeah.
That's good, man. Yeah, so is it your nephew or your son, the one that's got like a little music video that you posted on
That's
your page?
that's my baby. That's my son. Hold on,
That's
I'm
cool.
gonna introduce you, Junior. Come here. Meet Honor. He's the guy who's gonna do the interview with me now. He saw your music video.
What's going on, buddy? How you doing, man?
Good.
So how you
Good,
doing?
love.
What are you doing?
I'm doing good. Just finished up breakfast over here in Japan. I checked out your music video, man. I think it was dope.
Yeah, he said you heard. He said your
He's in
music video.
Japan?
Yeah, he's got a Cobra Kai outfit on over here. Cobra Kai is over here.
Cobra Kai. Hey, man, that music video was great. How did you feel doing that?
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to shoot the whole thing?
We did like separate days, so
Oh, okay.
like each day had like 40 or 30 minutes in there or an hour.
Yeah. So what happened with that was I had just won my fight.
Yeah.
I was in the Dominican Republic. I was commentating for UFC Fight Pass.
Hmm.
And he calls me. He has a talent show. Wants to do a music video. He's always been into music. I take him to studios to record music and get the feel.
Yeah.
And I mean, I grew up in Miami. I know everybody. I'm very good with everybody throughout the. And throw this in the trash, please.
Yeah.
And then so I was like, you know what? Let's try to make a music video. I called a great friend of mine I grew up with. He rents exotic cars. We got him exotic cars.
I saw that.
Yeah. One of my friends was moving out of his house, a beautiful house with a pool. We threw a
Yeah.
pool party. Another great friend of mine, he rents yachts. That's what he does. He charters yachts. We got him a yacht. And then I reached out to Pitbull's manager, which is me and
Yeah.
Pitbull grew up, we were 10 years old, so his manager is like a brother to me. So I reached out to him.
Yeah.
Any way we could get a jet, just so he could climb on a jet, and he got to get the jet too. So we had baggage. It was amazing, man.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. It's interesting, the length that we will go to get our kids what they need,
Oh,
right?
absolutely, absolutely,
Yeah. It's like we'll
absolutely.
basically do anything for
I,
them.
I always try to go above and beyond, and he actually just got his report card, got a bunch of A's and B's, so he deserves it, man. He's a
Hey,
great kid.
yeah, that's the best thing. It's now it's like I don't know how it is back in the States, but it's probably similar to here in Japan where kids are just on their video games all the time.
All the time. He's on it, but I'm on top of him too.
Yeah.
My boxing gym is in my backyard, right outside the door. So I built it during COVID. So and I'm blessed enough that my coach is basically my backdoor neighbor.
Yeah.
So it's training. I'm on top of him with everything.
Yeah.
As much as I can. I don't want to be. You don't want to be that hammer either.
No, no. Yeah, yeah, that's the way it is with my kid. My oldest, he's 11, and he's playing baseball now. He grew up doing karate and training and boxing and things like that, and he did basketball, piano. He did a bunch of sports. Right now, he's just sticking to baseball because in Japan the way it works is you pick one sport and it's all year. There's no break. There's no season.
Oh, nice.
So yeah. So you can't kind of do multiple sports for kids, which has its, pros and cons, but
True.
yeah, we give him about an hour a day and maybe 3 or 4 days a week, and that's it on games. And, the rest of that, he's got to do some training and for fitness stuff or baseball and studying, of course.
That's awesome. Yeah. And Japan, I know Japan is, they're great at sports, man. They got a great, from what I've seen over the years,
Yeah.
what they are is very disciplined over there,
Yeah.
A lot more disciplined here, I would say, from my opinion.
Yeah. When I got here 11 years ago, that's how it was. I was really excited for all of that. And, as my son grew up, I was watching how the coaches are doing things differently here. But to be honest with you, man, the last 3-4 years, they're really starting to soften up. And it's starting to get to the point where the kid is almost, or the parents are above the coaches. So the coaches kind of have no power anymore, and I think before they were doing too much. I mean, we had kids that were dying in practices and judo practices, and the coaches were doing maybe a little too much and hitting them on the head and stuff like that. And so they changed the rules. So now it's almost like it's too soft now, where the coaches are afraid to do anything.
Yeah.
So
what? The world's turning. The world's kind of turning into that kind of a weird, soft place in
Yes.
certain aspects of things. It's weird.
Yep. And it's kind of sad too because our youth is the one that's going to suffer from all of that. They're not going to have discipline. Somebody yells at them, they're going to start crying. They're not going to know what to do.
I tell this guy all the time. I'm like, I try not to yell, but you have your days. But I'm like, hey, I'm raising you to be a man, brother. You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
There's no BS here, brother. You're gonna be, be a man, and sometimes I might tell you things you don't like, but it's for your own good, And
yeah, that's the way it is, man. That's I don't know about you, but I was raised. We stepped out of line, man. We knew that belt was coming.
Oh, brother, for sure. How old are you?
I'm 43.
43.
But I look 41 though. I look good. I look 41.
Yeah, you look great. You look great, brother. I just turned 40, and I'm from the same era, brother. I got my ass whooped as a kid, man. I grew up with ass whoopings.
Yep. Step out of line. My dad used to. We had a big tree in the backyard. If we stepped out of line, my dad would say, "Go get a varita," the little switch. We used to have to get our own little switch from the tree and bring it in.
You pick the weapon that's going to be used against you.
Yep.
Are you Mexican?
Yeah, I'm Mexican, man. Born in Mexico. My family moved to the States when I was 1.5. I got 5 older brothers, and so we were raised there.
Nice. You were raised in LA?
No, I was raised in Washington State, close to the Seattle area. Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Raised there most of my life, and then I moved to LA, and I lived there for a while, and then Japan now for 11 years.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's been great to be able to be in different parts. of the world and see how things are done and try to pick up the good and the bad and try to incorporate that, into my family life with my kids. What about you? You're not born in Miami, right?
Yeah, I'm born in Miami. I'm
Oh, you
Cuban.
are born.
My family's Cuban.
Okay.
I was born and raised in Miami. I lived in LA like 1 year as a kid, and
Okay.
I went to school in Texas 1 year as a kid. But 99.9% of my life has been in Miami. You
Yeah.
know, as of being raised. 'Cause I've traveled also, but like being raised and like, my roots are here. But my family's Cuban. I grew up Cuban. Um, and yeah, man. I mean, it's let me tell you, great. It's been a great place to grow up, man. Like everything else, it has its ups and downs, but I've made the
Yeah.
most of it.
Yeah. What do you think it, are some of the biggest changes that have been happening, like where you grew up, from your childhood to compared to like your kids' childhood now?
Well, obviously for sure, number one is like we said, that electronics is a huge thing. We know we
Oh,
have,
yeah.
and gentrification, man, that's going down everywhere, brother.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, 20 years ago, I lived in the hood of all hoods, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go over there, there's women walking Frenchies around, and there's coffee shops, and it's called Wynwood. It's where they have Art Basel, which is the biggest art show there is in the world.
Oh,
And
wow.
20 years ago, brother, it was you could buy heroin, crack, and prostitutes and all types of crazy stuff,
Well,
brother.
you can probably still buy that there. It's just a little more in the
Right,
background
right,
though.
right, right.
And the prices
It,
probably went up too.
right, but yeah, exactly, exactly. But back then it was in your face. Right now you can't
Yeah.
even find it if you're looking.
Just right there in the streets, man. Do you see that more as like a positive thing, or do you think that has a negative effect on the people there?
You know what? I see it as a positive, man, because I want my
Yeah.
city to come up. I don't, the crime is down, the tourist is up, which brings the money to the city. It's a
Yeah.
big thing. But this is my opinion too. It makes in my opinion, it looks like they're making it seem, or they're making it where you have to be rich to be living here, man. If you don't got
Yeah.
money, it's gonna be hard to live.
Yeah. It's one of those things that has, of course, good points because, like you said, it's going to be safe, especially for kids growing up. But on the other hand, the people that can't afford it, they're not going to be able to enjoy that safety. So they kind of got to find a way to, help out the people that they're moving out of those areas. Don't move them to a worse area, or don't give them any help to be able to lift themselves up as well.
Absolutely. One good thing about the places where they're gentrifying is that these 30, 40, 50, $60,000 homes are turning into 500,000 $1 million places. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
in a way, that's good for them if willingly. I mean, God willing that they know how to use their money and do things right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you went from a ghetto shack worth $50,000 to something that's worth three, four, $500,000 now because they want that
Yeah.
property.
Yeah,
You
if
know?
they're able to hold on to it and sell it, then
Right.
yeah, that's a good deal for them. And like you said,
Yeah.
hopefully they're able to learn how to use that money, not just go
Absolutely.
spend it right away.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So you say you traveled the world, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. What place did you enjoy the most?
Oh man, you know what? I I went to Belgium, man. I think Belgium was amazing.
Really?
Yeah, Okinawa, Japan. I loved Okinawa.
Yeah.
I remember in Okinawa, I'll never forget. I remember one night we went out and I stopped and they sell sake like anywhere, like 7-Elevens and stuff.
Yeah.
And I got a
Well, we have
sake.
vending machines with beer on the streets.
Well, yeah. Well, I went to this place. It looked like a 7-Eleven basically, like a corner store. They had sake
Yeah.
and a Viper in it.
Yes.
Yeah, and I remember taking a shot of that, bro, and it was the worst thing I
Oh,
ever did in my life, bro. I was like, whoa,
yeah.
that
Yeah.
was harsh.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of snakes, man. That's one thing. You want to see me jump, you show me a snake, I'm out of there, man. So yeah, we just got back, like I said, from Okinawa, and we went to one of those shops that has those big jars with the snake coiled up and the mouth
Yeah,
open.
that's how this
Oh
was
man,
talking, and the snake was coiled up in it, and
yeah,
like facing you.
yep,
And yeah,
yep.
it was wild, man.
So you took a shot of that.
I took a shot of that, and it was horrible, man.
Oh, but it's strong though, right?
Strong as hell, strong as hell.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I got to eat
yeah,
real sushi though, real Japanese
yeah.
sushi. know,
Yeah.
it was awesome. It was awesome, man. On that trip, on that same trip, we went to Okinawa, Japan. I
Mm.
went to Seoul, South Korea, which was amazing. I
Yeah.
went to Belgium, and I went to Milan, Italy,
Mm.
and then about 3 years ago, I got to fight in Milan, Italy. I had a boxing match in Milan,
Mm.
Italy, and it was amazing, to be back there after so many years.
Yeah. Yeah. That's nice. So, what age did you get into boxing? Were you doing boxing while you were doing the bodyguard work as well, or?
I've been into boxing and martial arts my whole life. I got
Yeah.
into, I would say, around 7 years old. I
Okay.
had a family that came over from Cuba that were
Mm.
amateur boxers, and they teach me. And then I'd go to my local parks or police athletic leagues, the power leagues that they have here,
Mm.
and boxing gyms. Um, I finally got into like what would be considered, well, like in the year 2000, I helped a friend of mine open up a gym, which was mixed martial arts.
Yeah.
Back then, mixed martial arts was coming up. It was a lot of gym fights, like guys would come over
Yes.
to gyms and you fight in
Yeah.
gyms. That was kind of how it went, non-sanctioned. I was big into that. Then I had kids at an early age, man. I'm 40
Mm.
years old. My son is 23, about to be 24. So at 16
Oh.
years old, I had a kid. At 19 years old, I had my next kid. Um,
Yeah.
I was always I was as a kid. I got in trouble a lot on in school. I got kicked out of school. I got sent to juvenile detention centers.
Mm.
At 3 years old, I was in prison for fighting on the streets.
Wow.
So I always find myself in trouble. So it's crazy. I tell people, what got me in trouble back then, I turned it around. Is getting me paid now and getting me notoriety, and I'm doing it now. In
Yeah.
the right, but yeah, I always loved fighting. I was never a bully, never picked on people. I was always the first one to stand up for my friends. Whenever there was
Mm.
a problem, I was the first one to face up to it. And as a kid, I never had a father figure. I never had an uncle,
Mm.
a cousin, a male role model in my life. And I don't say that in any way looking for pity. That was just
Yeah.
what my was.
Yeah.
So I figured out everything out on my own, and my hobbies were what my friends liked. If you like it, I
Mm.
like it because you're my friend and I hang out with you and I want to do it.
Yeah.
So but I always stuck around fighting. I always loved it, and how I got to where I'm at today was at 35 years old. Uh, I was living in Colorado, as part of
Mm.
the gold rush,
Mm.
and
Yep.
and and man, I was a day to day guy. I lived my life day to day, and I'd figure it
Mm.
out, and then it was a street thing. And that day, I remember I had this epiphany, this come to God moment. It brought me to my knees, man, where I was like, I was 35. I did the math. I said 10 years from now, I'll be 45. Uh, Still stuck in the same bull. You know what I mean? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
BS. You know what I mean?
Yep. You can say anything you want, man.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to be stuck in the same bullshit, brother. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it brought me to my knees, and I cried, man. I said, no way.
Mm.
I'm 45. I can't be stuck doing this, man. I got to do something better. My whole life I lied to my kids, and it was always living a lie. And
Mm.
right then and there, I packed up my stuff. I called a transport company to get my car. I came back to Miami. I started training. Well, I was already training in Colorado. I kept the training up in Miami. And then December of 2016, right before New Year's of 17,
Mm.
I told my coach, I'm like, hey, I think I'm ready for a professional fight. I was doing it as a bucket list thing. I was gonna take
Mm.
pictures, tell my kids I did it, and just finally like satisfy a dream. 2 days later, he comes back and tells me, hey, we have a fight for you January 27th, which was like about 30 days later. I'm like, oh shit. So I was nervous. I got prepared. I went to Dominican Republic. I fought and I knocked the dude out in the first round. And it was the biggest high, biggest rush of life I've ever had in my life, man.
Mm.
That moment on, I never turned around. I found out what real hard work actually is, what consistency is, what discipline is. I lacked structure my whole life, so I found
Yeah. Yeah.
structure in the world of combat. And brother, here I am today with the fastest knockout in combat sports history. I get
Man.
opportunities like this to be able to speak to you. The same juvenile detention center that I used to be in now calls me to go speak to children over there. I feed the homeless. It's amazing what life is brought back, man. I got my mind right, and it put me in the right place, brother.
That's amazing, man. Everything you just said right now. That's what life is all about. Everybody makes mistakes in life, but it takes a. You said something that kind of really hit when you were like I was lying to my kids. That's so hard to say, right? It's so hard to admit that you're not living the life that you should be, especially when you have kids. Man, that's and the fact that you're going back to the same place where you were locked up at and trying to help those kids out, that's amazing.
Yeah, man.
I think stories like yours are the ones that really impact people like in our community, in the Latino community. They impact them the most instead of people that didn't have a struggle, right? That already grew up with everything and they're successful and that's great. But most of our people know what struggle is. So when they see somebody that made mistakes in life and they turned it around and they're able to speak the way that you speak, admitting the faults that we have, I think that really hits a lot of us and helps us to be able to try to turn it around.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it took a long time for me to even after I turned my life around, it was hard. I came
Yeah.
from off the street doing illegal things my whole life.
Yes.
So it was hard for me
Yes.
to open up like I am opening up now. I've gotten used to it now, but I used to start speaking in podcasts and stuff, and I'm like, I feel like I was kind of in a sense like snitching on myself or something. It was weird, man. But now, yeah, I take pride in it, man. I'm very happy. I'm in a very happy place. I've never been happier in my life, spiritually, mentally, physically. And it feels great, man, to be able to do this, And I feel like now I am the father I was supposed to be. Now I am, and thank God I still have a great relationship with all my kids. And I'm able to be a real role model now, And it's awesome. It's a great feeling.
Yeah, that's amazing. I see a lot of like the young kids looking up to, celebrities, and especially now with social media. I see a lot of kids looking up to these social media stars and all that stuff. But to me, that's the parents' job. It's the father's job, it's the mother's job to have the kids look up to you and see what direction they want their life to go. Whether you've made mistakes or not, the kids can see like, okay, they did this wrong, but they turned it around. Okay, and that's what I want to do with my life. I want to get to the point where, I can be a good person and be a good member of society. You don't know the real lives of all these celebrities and what they're really going through, but that's what kids look at now.
Right. Yeah. The social media is it's instant gratification, man. You know what I mean? And they're not seeing, and even and just to speak up for the like celebrities themselves, like you don't know what they went through. Everybody thinks, and this goes for anything. Everybody thinks that you're like whatever you make it in, there's an overnight success. Yes. And there's years of work behind this, man. You know what I mean? And years of struggle and years of hard.
Yeah.
I was saying this the other day. I like telling my story. I feel like I can impact kids and not only kids, anybody, even adults. And I feel like I am, in a sense, for lack of a better word, the poster boy for second chance, man. You know what I mean? Because I got a second chance in life. Yeah. When God knows, man, I almost didn't have a first chance. And second chance, and I made it to where I'm at today. And again, I get opportunities like this. Speaking to you, to me, is not only a pleasure, but it's an honor, and it's amazing to do this, man. It's amazing to open up and be able to reach. And bro, you're in Japan right now. That's awesome,
Yeah, it's like when we were growing up, we had no image of being able to talk to somebody in another country, even in another state. That was, like a big deal, right?
Right. Yeah.
And a lot of the celebrities, they have their own struggles and all that, but a lot of them don't share that. They don't talk about that. And, some of them have been through really bad things. You read about it and all that kind of stuff. But, I always appreciate when the people will stand up and talk about what it is that they've been through and how they got to where they are. And especially when they talk about faith, because that's a big thing for me. I grew up going to church. My family, we grew up always having faith and believing in God. And that doesn't mean that we're always on the right path. We always veered off, but the way that we were raised always kind of brought us back to it. And as I've gotten older, and especially as I've had kids, I've realized, man, there was a lot of things growing up that I did that I really regret. I wish I didn't. I hadn't done those. So now is a chance to live a better life and help my kids to hopefully not make the same mistakes. Of course, they're going to make mistakes and they need to. But hopefully we can help them to avoid any big major mistakes,
Absolutely, absolutely, and I'm huge with faith too. Also, we're Latin, we're Latino, so
There you
we grew
go.
up in church as well. My mom is actually a pastor herself now. I,
Oh,
because of me in my late teens, early 20s, going to prison and all that, she had nowhere to turn. She turned to God, became a pastor, and
wow.
that saved my life. And I like to say I'm not religious, but I'm very spiritual. And the
Yeah.
word for me is God, because I grew up with the word God, and I believe in God, and I know God has gotten me this far with everything I've been through. There's
Yep.
nobody else but God that got me to this position today. Absolutely.
Yeah. You know, it, we've talked about this. Everybody's got struggles, and some people use those struggles to keep themselves down. Oh, I grew up in this bad situation. This is my life. I have no
Yeah,
choice. This is
use
the
that
life.
they use that excuse as much as possible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of
Yep.
using and instead of not making an excuse and using it as fuel and rocketing yourself up,
Yep.
they use an excuse to hold themselves down. You know what I mean? No, I use that fuel and I use it as rocket fuel, man. I'm
Yep.
going up, brother.
Yeah. And some people they use that to keep themselves down, and other ones they they put their goal so high that it's almost impossible to reach. Like, oh, I'm poor, I want to have a Ferrari, I want to have a Lamborghini. How about just get a car? How about just be
Right,
able to afford a bus pass? How about just get any job you can get? You
right,
can't go from here to here just like that. So many people want
right,
to skip that middle,
right.
that hard work.
Right. And that's where social media messes people up. That
Yep.
instant gratification.
Yeah.
People feel like they're in a rat race with other people to try to get what they have. And like,
Yep.
you gotta stop worrying about that. Worry about yourself. Get yourself right, and you'll get there one day. It's not a
Yeah.
race.
Yep.
I'm, I'm
Yep.
40 years old, and I'm 40 years old. And in the last four and a half, 5 years, when I finally started getting my shit together, you know what I mean? And I was a victim of that too. I don't
Mm.
want to say victim. That's a bad
Yeah.
word. But
Yeah.
I fell into that mindset of like, I'd get on Instagram before I started, and you see people with things and you're like, damn, how do I not have that? Or
Yeah.
how can I get? And who cares? I don't want that shit. God
Yeah.
bless whoever has more power to you. I'm going
Yep.
my way, brother, you know what I mean? And we'll meet at the top.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like you said with social media, the kids and it's not only kids. It almost seems like even like grown-ups have
Yeah,
that jealousy, almost
yeah,
worse than the kids, man.
yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely. You're right.
Uh, so that you have the fastest knockout right now,
Yes,
right? I've
yes,
seen
sir.
that clip so many times, man. Did you go into that fight thinking, okay, this is as soon as that bell rings, I'm going to start throwing, or did it just happen suddenly, or
Brother, I manifested that knockout. I studied
uh,
my opponent over for a month. I studied my opponent. I watched tape
wow,
over and over again. A week before that knockout happened, I said I was gonna knock him out. I said I was gonna have the fastest knockout. Um, so I was studying my opponent. He was a tall guy. He was about 6'2",
mm,
and every time you attacked him, he would stretch out and
mm,
put his
mm,
chin in the
mm.
air. So I go, as soon as this fight starts, I'm coming in. When he stretches his arms out, I'm coming over the top, and boom, I just landed right on the button. Um, and brother, that punch put my name around the world, which was amazing.
Yeah,
It's an amazing moment in life for me. Incredible. For the first 2 weeks after it happened, it was unbelievable. I'd watch it myself hundreds of times in a night,
I'm sure.
and I was like, "Wow, it's unbelievable." I got Hulk Hogan reached out to me, Phil
Oh,
Heath, um, TMZ. I hadn't
yeah.
spoken. Listen to this. I hadn't spoken to my real father in almost 5 years. Right.
Oh
My real
man.
father is he's an author. He has 5 books written. He's a
Mm,
very well known figure in the book world. So I knocked the guy out. It lands in this newspaper in Spain, right? My dad lives in LA for the last 20 years. My real father
okay.
lives in LA for the
Yeah.
last 20 years. I haven't talked to him or seen him in over 5.
Mm,
The knockout lands in Spain for this newspaper that he also writes for. From LA, he writes for Spain, and in Spain,
mm,
it's all of South America, right? And so it lands over there. And my name is very unique. Ulysses Diaz de Villegas,
yes.
my whole last name. So it lands there. Somebody in Spain that writes for the paper says, "Hey, I think this is Nestor's son." They email my father the article, and after
Mm.
5 years, he reaches out to me and says, "Yo, I'm sorry about that, brother."
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, he does this. I always try to vlog her. I'm like, "Hey, I'm doing an interview." Uh, so sorry about that.
Uh, hey, no
So,
worries, man.
so somebody, so I landed over there. They email him. And after 5 years, man, he reaches out and he's like, "Yo, incredible, brother. I'm so proud of you. You know." And man, we mended our relationship. I speak to him again.
Awesome.
He's a great guy. I was just like, so we stopped talking before I went professional. My mind was in the place I was
Yeah.
not in now. We
Yeah.
put all the bullshit behind us. We're in a great place now, and incredible things happened from that one knockout, man. In less than 3 seconds, my life changed, man. But there was a
Great.
lot of hard work put behind those 3 seconds. That
Yes.
wasn't just a fluke. Uh,
Mm.
During COVID, when COVID hit, I had like everybody else, you either adapt or you die, and you try to figure out what to do.
Mm.
I I'm blessed enough that my coach. I moved into a house 2 years ago, into this house here 2 years
Mm.
ago. My coach, by the grace coincidence of God, he's my backdoor neighbor.
Yeah.
So during COVID, little by little, Amazon buying little pieces of boxing equipment. I have a friend. Shout out to Apache, man. He rents rings. He
Mm.
wasn't able to rent rings. He put a ring in my backyard. And brother, I never stopped working
Mm.
during the whole COVID. And then I fought November 13th, Friday the 13th, which is during COVID. And I made that happen during that whole thing, during the whole pandemic. That was the cherry on the top for me, man. So I tell people I hate to brag about 2020 because I know a lot of people had a hard time, but
Yeah.
I had, if not the best, one of the best years of my life.
And there's a lot of people that could have had the same thing if they had their mind right. I have a lot of friends that kind of did similar thing as you and different fields of work, but they said, "Hey, there's nothing I can do. I'm going to try to sharpen my craft. I'm going to stay home. I got my kids, all that stuff. I'm going to work hard so when things open back up, I'm ready to go." And then I have other friends, all they did was eat, gain weight, be unhappy the whole time. And now that things are starting to open up, they're not ready for things to open up,
Right, right, right,
you
right.
know.
Yeah,
So it's not like bragging. It's just talking about, you prepared and look what happened. Which we're
absolutely.
always going to have obstacles in life, man. It's been such a strange, year here in Japan. Things didn't get crazy until last year, April. So about this time last year, schools closed, gyms closed for 2 months. That was it. Then they opened back up June 1st. Kids went back to school. Everything was kind of normal. You just had to wear a mask. But in Japan, that's kind of normal anyway, especially in the winter. But yeah, COVID hit different over there, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, in Miami, it hit different in the United States.
Yeah,
Miami was thankfully a little more open than
yeah.
other places, but it was still weird, man. Nobody was
Mm.
used to it. You know what I mean? It was definitely weird, but yeah, we made the most of it. I stayed at home. I trained every day. I ate right. I ran. I always had vision for a better future,
Yeah.
and it landed on that night, brother. And because of that night, so many doors have opened for me, man. And I'm so grateful for that. And it's amazing, man.
Yeah, that's what life is about, you know. You take the
Absolutely,
good with the bad and you try to make the best out of whatever comes your way. So
absolutely,
you got any fights coming up or what's going on?
man. I have. When is this airing?
Probably in about a week.
In
So
about a
today is
week. All
the
right. So
20th, so yeah,
all
26th.
right. Okay. So do me a favor and call me back before it airs. But I'm gonna tell you some exclusive right now, man.
All right.
May 21st, Hard Rock Casino here in Miami. I'm fighting
Oh,
Thiago Alves for the 175-pound belt.
dang.
It's gonna be the biggest fight of my life, man, against a legend. Um,
Yes.
I used to look at Thiago fight on UFC. I'm a big fan.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to fighting him. I can't wait to fight him. And it's an amazing thing in my life, man. Again,
Wow.
it's my time, brother. And I know nobody, you know what I mean? Not him, not nobody can take it from me. And it's a big moment in my life, man. It's
That's
amazing.
amazing. It's
Yes, sir.
amazing, man. Yeah, we'll definitely. I'll be watching from over here.
Yeah, thank you.
Uh,
Thank you, brother.
yeah, I've never been to Miami, but I might be out there this maybe July or towards summer or end of summer. You know Phil Daru.
Of course, it's my boy.
Okay. Yeah,
That's my
yeah. I
boy.
told him you were going to be on my podcast. He's like, yeah, man. He goes, he's such a good
He,
guy,
he
man.
was there. He was there the night of the knockout.
Oh,
Yeah,
that would have been
yeah.
amazing to be there. Yeah, I might be out there. Him and I are going to do something together. His mom, she passed away from lupus,
Oh shoot.
and Yeah, lupus, SLE, and I've had lupus for 16 years, and I almost lost my battle 3 different times. But thank God I'm still here, still, yeah, doing good. So we were planning on doing something maybe in Seattle, like to raise awareness for lupus because there's so many people that don't even know what it is, or they've heard the name, but they don't really know what the disease does to you or anything like that. So we were planning on doing something in Seattle, but Seattle's pretty closed up, and I don't know if they're going to be opening up anytime soon. So I talked to him last week, and yeah, we might move our event out to Florida.
Yeah, man. And Florida's open.
Yep.
And now, hey, let me tell you, you made a friend and a brother in me, brother. So
Hey, appreciate it, man. You
as soon
too.
as it's over, I'll text you on the talking about my dad. That was him from LA.
Oh, no way.
Damn, that's crazy that he even called. I haven't talked to him like in a week. Uh, yeah, you made a brother and a friend of me, brother. So when we hang up here, I'll
Likewise.
text you through the DM. I'll text you my
Yeah.
phone number,
Okay,
and
cool.
you call me as soon as you touch down here, man. I would love to. And in July or summertime after this big fight, I'll be able to eat, and chill. So
Oh,
yeah,
man.
I would love
We'll
to,
be we'll be able
take
to
you out and
celebrate.
get lunch or dinner with Phil, and that'd be awesome, man.
Yeah, yeah, appreciate that. I'm looking forward to it. We're gonna do something maybe not so big this year, just because of COVID and things are starting to just kind of come back, and we'll do something small this year, and then next year we're planning on doing a much bigger event, and hopefully we can do something every year, man.
Well, I would love to try to do it with you guys. I do little things myself. I feed the homeless. I started
Let's
feeding
do
the homeless.
that
I've
too.
been doing that for
Yeah,
about a year and a half, all through COVID. I never stopped. I do it once a month, and now I
yeah.
started this thing called Monster Brawl, where I get people off the streets. You settle the beef inside the boxing ring, and it's awesome, man.
I
And
saw
it's been going
something. You
great,
had
man.
that on your
And we're
Instagram,
all very
right?
proud. What's
You
that?
had that on your Instagram, right?
Yeah. Monster Brawl,
Yeah,
man.
I saw that.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
just did on Saturday. I did Monster Brawl 2. We're editing everything now, but it's been going amazing, man. I got a great in Miami, especially. It's my hometown. I
Yeah,
have a great support system, man. Everybody, loves me, man, and I love them back. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's reciprocated. It's awesome, man. It's a great thing, and people really show support. They really come out. Anything I put on my Instagram that I'm gonna be at, people show up. So I would love to help you out with the lupus thing, and have
Appreciate
people
it.
show up there.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. There's so many causes out there, and there's enough for everybody to go around to help as many people as possible. And I think that's what we're supposed to do, especially if you're able to build a platform where you can get people to kind of follow what it is that you're trying to do to help change the world or change your local community, whatever it is. If we have the ability to make a change, we got to use it for the good. I've
Absolutely.
had other people that I try to work with and stuff like that, and it's always more like okay, before we do this, I need to get
Well,
this much back, and
right.
they want all the notoriety.
Yeah, it's always okay, but what are you gonna do for me, man? I don't work,
Exactly.
brother.
Yeah.
I, and I do it because I want to do it, man. Because I love
Yes.
being with people, man.
Yep.
And at the end of the day,
Yep.
I don't do it because I know God's gonna pay me back, but I know
There
that's
we
what happens,
go.
bro. You know what I
Yep.
mean? So
Yep.
that's
Yeah.
what it is.
That's the way that's the way it is, man. That's the way it should be. But yeah, definitely. Once we get out there, I'll let you know before we get to Florida. We're gonna be leaving Japan end of June, and we're planning on staying 2.5 months.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll have to quarantine, I think, and unless things change. But we'll have to quarantine once we get to the U.S. And so we're planning on quarantining in
Come
Hawaii.
around, brother. I'll come check you out, no problem. And Phil's my
Appreciate
guy.
it.
I love Phil, man.
Yeah,
He's a genius in what he does. He's a great
yeah,
person, and I would definitely love to go hang out with you guys, man.
yeah, yeah. Definitely, we'll have to do that. And you talked about growing up. You were locked up and things like that. How do you think that was because you grew up in the area where crime and illegal things were happening, or like you said, you didn't have a male figure in your life? What do you think it was that led you to that type of lifestyle?
I think it was a little bit of everything, man. And
Mm,
uh, I was the type of guy that I didn't listen to better reasoning, man.
mm,
Look, like I tell kids when I speak to children, I tell them, look, I grew up with Pitbull, right?
yeah.
Two guys that grew up together. One guy
Mm,
followed his path, didn't listen to the bullshit.
yeah.
Stuck to it. Didn't care what anybody said. and he just rose and rose and rose. Then you got a guy that listened to the bullshit, thought he knew better, went around, bumped his head, fell, this and the other, and thank God I'm here. And I found my parallel, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know, you got a guy, two of the same guys grew up together, still speak to, that was my brother, still to this day.
Yeah.
But he followed a path, went on a straight, it wasn't a straight line, there's nothing that's a straight line.
Yeah.
It was a lot straighter than mine was. Mine
Yeah.
veered off. Came right here, you know? But
You were zigzagging all over
I was zigzagging and bumping myself. But I have a saying that says, "What's a smooth road without a bumpy one to compare it to?" You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true, man. That's such a good comparison that you're able to share with kids. Is look at what he's done, and you guys grew up together, same area, right?
Same area. I lived in his house with him. His mom was my mom. My mom was his mom. We ate the same plate. We shared everything, brother. You know,
Yeah.
if I had $1 to eat and he had no money, then we ate together. If I didn't have money, he had money, we ate. Like, and it's to this day, we're still. That's my brother. It's my brother. It doesn't get closer than that, man. He's basically blood.
Yeah, and it's interesting how there's so many other situations like that where people grow up together, but even though they have the same things happening around them, everybody kind of takes a different path,
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's great for kids to be able to hear that. And how long have you been speaking to kids? How many years have you been doing that?
I think I've been doing that now about 2.5, 3 years.
2.5, 3 years.
Yeah.
What do you think is the how kids are taking it? Most of them that you talk to, do you think most of them are taking it in?
I think they're all taking it, and I'll tell you why. Because of first of all, I think what sells it the most, and it's not even selling because it's just the truth, is my demeanor. I have tattoos all over my hands. I got gold teeth.
Yeah.
I got scars all over my face. I have tattoos on my head. I have dreadlocks.
Yeah.
And it's the real deal. I'm not. This is not an act. This is not a costume. This is me. And so you have me walking in, and then you have an old man with a tie coming in trying to tell you what to do. I'm gonna tell you I'm the guy that you wanted to be. You know what I mean? Everything you wanted to do, I did, and I'm gonna tell you it's all bullshit, and it's not gonna get you anywhere. You know what I mean? And this guy, and not to take anything from anybody, but I'm talking from experience. I'm not talking. Is he coming? Is the old man with the tie coming in to tell you some good things? Of course, but I'm speaking from experience. I lived in the fire. I put my hand in the fire. I was part of the bullshit. I have the look that these kids want to look like, and I'm gonna tell you that this. You know what I mean? I thank God I made something out of myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was a 1 in a million chance, man, and I took it and I stuck to it, and that's why I'm here today. It wasn't easy. It wasn't overnight. I've been working my ass off. I get paid to get punched in the face, man. Not too many people want to do that. So that's where I get kids' attention. You know what I mean? When I walk in and I got the tattoos and the gold teeth and the hair and all that, they're like, who the hell is this guy? And how the hell did he get to talk to us?
Yeah. They're like, oh, we got a new member. We got a new guy that's getting left. Yeah, I think that makes a big difference when the people that are talking to you, they look like you, they have the same demeanor, they talk like you. I think that really helps kids to feel like, oh, he knows what I'm going through. When you got that guy in the suit or, really clean cut guy, you can't really, connect with.
And like I tell the kids, you see where you're sitting? I sat right there with you. I was in the same detention center. And as an adult, I went to prison. Let me tell you, it was nothing there. Nothing. Yeah. You got no girls, you got no money, you got no time, you got nothing, brother. And the only one that really suffers when you get locked up is your family. Because you're getting free meals. You don't gotta work. You don't gotta do shit. Your family's out there suffering, crying for you, man. So don't be. Don't just think about yourself, man. Think about the people you're hurting and leaving behind.
Yeah, that's true. That's a big part right there, man. Especially the parents. If you have younger siblings, they're the ones that are going to suffer the most from it. And
Absolutely.
Especially now, so many like movies and TV, they glamorize prison. Like, oh, this is a great place to be. There's so much going on in here, but from what I've heard, it's far from the truth. Totally different in real life.
Absolutely. That's definitely a place that I don't recommend anybody, man. I wouldn't wish that upon my worst enemy, brother.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's great, man, that you've been able to make the changes in your life, and now you're able to not only help your kids out, but help, members of your family and be able to take them in and try to give them a better life.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah. No. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So hopefully later this year we'll be out there and we can get a chance to meet up. And like you said, you got that fight coming up. So before I release this, I'll let you know, and then let me know if you want me to hold it a little bit longer. I can do that as well. No worries on that.
Thank
Yeah.
you for that. I truly appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah. Appreciate your time. God bless, brother. And let's help change the world. We'll do some things together for sure.
Brother, God bless you, man. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and I look forward to meeting you, brother. I can
Yeah.
feel
Likewise.
you're in Japan, and I can feel your energy through the phone, bro. You're a great person. God bless, brother.
Likewise, man. God bless, brother. Talk to you later.